got it 6:11. Oh, okay, that's how I got you.
Yeah, the technical.
I didn't get it with your
When you go.
Shalom Israel. We're back. Second half of the Sabbath service. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18.
Mhm.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 1. It says, nevertheless, thy saints had a very great light. So we were in Goshen, whose voice they hearing and not seeing their shape, because they also had not suffered the same things. They counted them happy. So I could have said, in Goshen we had light, nothing would happen to us. The Egyptians, they had their plagues. All right. Verse 2, but for that they did not hurt them now, of whom they had been wronged before, they thanked them and besought them pardon, for that they had been enemies. So even what was happening to the Egyptian, even Pharaoh told Moses to pray to Exodus 8. You can find this quickly.
What verse you on? Verse 3?
Hmm?
What verse you on?
Yeah, verse 2.
So in verse 1, Moses actually made us invisible to them. They could not even see us. They heard our voice, but they couldn't see us.
Yeah.
Where it says, nevertheless, thy saint had a very great light, whose voice they hearing and not seeing their shape. They weren't able to see us physically, but they could actually hear our voice.
Mhm.
All right, so they couldn't. Verse 2. Even first says as enemies in verse 2 have been enemies.
Verse 2.
Yeah. Exodus 9 verse 20. Exodus 9 verse 27. Let me write this down quick. Can I read that for me, please? Exodus 9 verse 27.
Exodus 9, verse 27. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said unto them, I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous, and I and my people are wicked.
So even Pharaoh said that him and his people are wicked, right? So had been enemies. Verse 3. Instead, whereof thou gavest them a burning pillar of fire, so delivering the children of Israel out of Egypt. When we left Egypt, when we left under Pharaoh, the Most High gave us a pillar of fire. A pillar of fire by day and a pillar of fire. So, can you show us where to, how to, like where to go? And a pillar of fire that we can like see at night. If I recall it, I think it was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. I'm trying to, yeah. Burning pillar of fire, both to be a guide of the unknown journey. So when we came, because we went into the wilderness, and an harmless sun to entertain them honorably. So which is how to guide us. Verse 4, for they were worthy to be depraved of light and imprisoned in darkness, because what they have done to us, who had kept thy sons shut up, by whom the uncorrupt light of the law was to be given unto the world. Verse 4. Hmm?
12 and 19.
Oh. Verse 2.
What is Romans? What?
12 and 9. Twelve 19, sorry. 12, 19.
19.
Romans 12 and 19.
Well, it's nice. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. In verse 2, you see how the Egyptians, they were happy. The fact that even though they did us wrong, but we did not do them any wrong, but the Most High avenged us. Right? The Most High is the one that pretty much judged them. And we didn't do anything to them. That's what the Most High says, judge in his mind, saith the Lord. So a judge usually tells you, listen, if somebody break the law, they will get their due punishment. So don't take matters into your own hand.
Right.
Right? You might end up getting in trouble, right? Because the case is gonna come to my court anyway, and I'm gonna decide on it. We know we can count on the Most High because the Most High is a righteous judge. He's gonna judge everything accordingly. But if we decide to take it matter into our own hand, the Most High said, don't do that. Because where everything is established by law, and we believe that as a judge in law and order, then we should obey the law and let the judge decide. So he said, dearly beloved, avenge not yourself, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is, see, it says, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. So the judge said he's gonna give everybody their sentence. If somebody do you wrong, just wait for him to judge.
Yeah, because even with that also, you know, Romans chapter 13, verse 1, you know.
You going with that one too?
I mean,
Romans chapter 13,
yeah.
verse 2.
No, verse 1.
Hey, one more comment on that. And you see what happened that right now. Because of lawlessness, we're not being treated fairly. And we see the justice system is unjust. So now we hit the street and take matters into our own hand. Why? Because it's been done over and over and over. This system that we under is not judging things accordingly. So now the people hit the street trying to give themselves, justice.
Their own justice.
Right. But in a
But
rightful justice system where the Most High is in charge of everything, you gotta let the Most Judge,
Let him handle.
let him handle.
He sent the whirlwind in, and the storms that hit, he sent them in. They said a couple people got killed.
Right.
There might have been more than that.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's not telling you everything. Because that whirlwind came in, didn't it? Tore down the trees.
Oh, when
Then the storm. That thunderstorm was hit yesterday and the day before. Tore down a lot of trees.
I got a picture.
Crashed on people's houses, blocked roads. They say a couple people got killed, but they might not be telling the whole truth. It might have been 20, 30 people.
Right.
You never know. Esau not going to tell you everything.
Right. And in the case where you live in a perfect society, all the judgment, everything already lined up. Kind of like when you go to the court system, if you rob a bank, right? It's already set up what your sentence is gonna be, right? 3 to 5 based on this case, that case, this case.
Right.
In the Most High's law, he created the end from the beginning. All the judgment's already there.
Right.
The disease and things that we face, they're already there. We activate those things whenever we sin. But whenever we're in righteousness, everything is going well, or everything can be, the sickness and everything can be around, those viruses can be on their own, they can't harm you.
Right.
But once we out of hand and start using this, violate the agricultural law, violate the law of the sea,
Anything, man.
right? Anything, take food that we shouldn't be eating and put it as delicacy, so that's breaking the law. So something bound to happen because we throw the earth out of this course. Now we mess up, then all those things come in to bite us. It's not like the Most High hiding somewhere and then throwing those stuff already there.
Just come when you do wrong.
When you do wrong. Death was already there when the Most High created everything. He said, if you go there, death's gonna get you.
Right.
Right? But if you death has no power until you sin. Once you sin, then death's gonna come in.
Right.
and even consider the judgment, like what's happening here now and so on and so forth. It's like Romans chapter 13, verse 1. It says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Verse 2, whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. So let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 18, verse 3. Instead, where thou gavest them a burning pillar of fire both to be a guide of the unknown journey and harmless son to entertain them honorably. Verse 4, for they were worthy to be deprived of light and imprisoned in darkness, who had kept thy sons shut up, by whom the uncorrupt light of the law was to be given unto the world. So they were, deprived of the plagues, the 10 plagues. It's right here of light. Of darkness is one of the plagues. Verse 5, and when they had determined to slay the babes of the saints. All right, because remember when Pharaoh says, if there's a male, to the...
When you kill him?
Yeah, if it's a male child, kill it.
Kill it, yeah.
To the, what do they call it? The handmaiden? I forgot.
Handmaiden.
No, I forgot the ladies.
Midwife.
The midwives, yeah. Gone some more.
For verse 3, what do we say as far as for the burning pillar of fire?
That was when they was leading the children of Israel out of Egypt. At night there was a fire in the wilderness, in the daytime it was a cloud.
Talking about what?
When we left Egypt, we was in the wilderness. So the burning pillar of fire was at night leading us in the right direction.
What was that? That's what I'm asking.
What is the burning pillar of
Right.
fire? The spaceship.
A chariot, right? That's what I'm asking.
I understand what you're
That's
saying.
what I'm saying, because I was saying, what do we say that this is talking about?
Oh,
Right, I know I said burning pillar of fire, but I wanted to say, what do we say that was? Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a
it
chariot.
was really a chariot. It was the fire from the chariot.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because remember it was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, because there wasn't any other light to, to guide us, so we can be able to see.
It was the chariot.
So when Pharaoh instructed the midwife to kill, kill the male child, right?
Right.
For verse 5, I think Exodus, verse 5. I forgot what in Exodus, I forgot where it is. I have to look it up. Verse 5 again. You know where that is? Exodus?
The first one, it's like chapter 2.
Chapter 2. Right? Exodus chapter 2.
Oh, in chapter 2, yeah.
Actually, the ending of chapter 1, verses 1 to 1.
Exodus chapter
Exodus 1, 15 to 22.
So, read it again.
1:22.
Exodus chapter 1, verses 15 to 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Verse 5 again. And when they had determined to slay the babes of the saints, which, Israel, the saints, gather my saints together. Those are made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Saints, one child being cast forth, which is Moses, and saved to reprove them, thou tookest away the multitude of their children and destroyed them altogether in a mighty water. So
Now, what is that right there?
that's when they kill the Egyptians, when they, deliver us out, and then they kill the Egyptian when the sea came back.
Oh,
Is that what that's talking about?
that was symbolized?
That's not
And this-
talking about our children.
No, destroy them altogether.
We're still on fire.
They were
Under
the
fire.
saints for being cast forth. They reproved them and took them away on the multitude of their
Yeah.
children.
No, that's, what did you say it was?
When they close up, the Most High close up at the Red Sea
Yeah.
and destroy them, with a mighty water.
Pour them all together
Oh, girl.
in the mighty water.
The first half of it is talking about us. As far as for what they did to us, how they looked to slaughter the firstborn of our children. One was saved was Moses. But then the second part is talking about what the Most High judgment was to them and their babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He destroyed them all together in the mighty water.
The children of the Egyptians got destroyed in the waters of the Red Sea.
And there's even a psalm about the way
Oh,
the Most High
When
destroyed.
they got destroyed, it was grown men then.
Oh,
wasn't it?
okay.
It was grown men then get destroyed in that city.
But it's still their
When you're talking
children.
when you're talking about the judgment that the Most High put on, it says the firstborn. That's still somebody's child,
Right.
right? So their firstborn children, like they told us, kill all the firstborn males that come from out of Israel.
Mhm.
Right.
One was saved. The Most High said, okay, the firstborn of all your sons is going to die,
Right.
right? So now some of them is in the army. You got a man who's sitting up, I got my firstborn son, he's going to die in that water.
Mm-hmm.
Same way y'all wanted y'all to die, y'all is going to die. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because he even say when it said, children, and we're the children of Israel. We're not, grown people. We're, however age we are.
Yeah, they
Their
were,
firstborn had already been wiped out, though. So that must have been the secondborn or thirdborn that died in the flood.
No, the military, Pharaoh and his army.
oh, that was in Pharaoh's army.
Yeah, Pharaoh and his armies are.
Yeah,
I forgot what.
Yeah, this part where it says took away the multitude of their children is not directly just talking about the firstborn.
No.
This is just talking about that they was destroyed. Their children that got destroyed. So yeah, like second, third, whoever else was of their nation, they got destroyed in the water.
The
Okay,
firstborn
yeah.
already got it.
Right. Yeah. But that was the time when Moses came and the flood came down and all the firstborn of Pharaoh's that was the first generation.
Those things.
That's when definitely became got them. But when the time when you destroyed out there in the Red Sea, that's when the other ones got killed.
Because as we reading, even though the sentence is right after the other, it happened in a period of time.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
the period of time.
You gotta be able to pick it apart.
Yeah, you gotta try to understand.
Verse 6. Of that night were our fathers certified afore, that assuredly knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, that credence they might afterwards be of good cheer. So we are of good cheer when the Most High delivered us. It was a beautiful thing that the Most High delivered us out of Egypt and destroyed them.
Right, yeah.
God, be quiet.
And he says in verse 6, the same verse 6, whatever was going to happen, Most High had it written, and our ancestors knew about it before it happened. So the Most High pretty much always have everything done, through contracts and writing, right? Put everything beforehand, no surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, exactly what he said was going to happen.
Yeah.
He made sure that it happened exactly the same way as he said before. That way, when we see things happen, we can always trust in the Most High that, a line or a sentence ain't gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody ain't gonna go there and doct it and then try to switch the agreement.
Right. It's gonna fall right on the course.
Right.
Verse 7. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies.
Mm-hmm. It was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was expected.
That we were delivered as a salvation, destruction of Pharaoh and his armies.
Mm-hmm.
And even, when I saw, Pharaoh's, armies and chariots, there. We saw it with our own eyes. We didn't have to, fight for it. The Most High delivered us all as a nation, every one of us.
Mhm.
And it wasn't even one, any of us feeble.
Well, that really was something when they were going through there. When Most High opened up the Red Sea and they were going through there, he was telling them to hurry up. The judgment was about ready to happen. When they were running through the Red Sea.
No, we weren't running. We were, deliberate.
They weren't running. They were trying to get out there as fast as they can.
No, yeah, that's in the movie. I remember I forget where it is, but we even walked on grass.
Moving.
I was looking for that. I didn't see that either. When they said they walked, I just said dry land. I didn't see no grass. I was looking for that.
It was grass. It was land.
They said it was in the Bible. There was grass, though. We gotta find it.
Someone is gonna find that.
Coming to the Red Sea.
Exactly.
Green pass.
The green pasture running through the sea.
That's a prayer. Green pastures. That's not talking.
No, we're talking about what's in the scriptures.
When you open up the sea, ain't nothing more than open land.
That's movie. I know that the movie playing tricks with our mind too,
Yeah, it was a hell of a movie. I seen they had a clear area going through.
Yeah. Movie playing tricks on us. Verse 9. Verse 9, for the righteous children of good men did sacrifice secretly, and with one consent made a holy law, that the saints should be like partakers of the same good and evil. The fathers now singing out the songs of praise. So we sang the song of Moses, right? Good and evil. Like if you read further on in Deuteronomy 28, if you keep the laws, this is gonna be blessing this. If you're not gonna keep the law, we're gonna curses. Yeah. Deuteronomy 28. Yeah, if you read it up to 15. Yeah. Go ahead.
Want that verse?
Yes.
It's the next chapter, Wisdom of Solomon 19 and verse 7.
You got that?
Oh, green field, that's what the grass is?
Yeah.
If somebody say when the green field, what is that?
Wisdom of Solomon 19:7.
I mean, keep in mind, if the Most High is doing something for us, you can imagine it's gonna be big. It can't be no little, half stuff. Most High, he's gonna do something for us. It's gonna be
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Like when manna came down to heaven, it was to everybody's taste.
Right.
You never find that ever anywhere in the earth like that. Everybody eats the same thing, but it's palatable to everybody in their own way.
And
That's creative.
I mean, I think about it.
That's creative.
We all go into the doggone pot and get the same thing, but it tastes different to you, it tastes different to me, it's all the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's seasoned the way we like it, huh?
Each individual.
Each individual.
Taste bud. Whatever your taste bud is, that's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Listen, after that, I don't need nothing else. Especially down today, why would I want anything else? If the Most High giving me this, and it tastes that day, if I wake up today, I say, you know what? I want to taste, I want this taste. And I eat it, and that's what I'm tasting in my mouth. 5 o'clock come, you know what? I want to eat this, and I want to taste this, and I eat it. Why would I care about anything else?
Right.
Now, that wasn't the same thing as the quills, right? That was manna. That wasn't the quills.
then the quill is something else.
Oh,
I just want to read this quickly. Deuteronomy 8:4. You see what the Most High did, also here. It said Deuteronomy 8:4, thy raiment wax not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. So the Most High can do to us, our clothes didn't get old, our feet didn't swell up, because when you're walking and so, your feet didn't swell up. So, but the most I can do, your clothes look good. Your clothes.
I them shoes. And them clothes. I ain't gonna buy nothing ever again.
Okay, you be in your feet for a long time, and your feet gonna swell. I've seen that. That's what
the portion of us will say. Righteous will say. I don't need nothing else. I'm good. You gonna have the others ones like, man, I'm tired of these damn shoes, man. I'm tired of this damn manna, man. I need something else. I need some of that other goat that they had in Egypt. It sound like I'm giving you quail from heaven. Like it don't have no impurities. It's pure as this. That's good, but like, damn,
the fish and the leeks and the onions.
I'm giving you all the best of the best. You complaining? Damn.
That's where it was, too.
That's how it was.
Yeah, because even you read it, when the Most High, when you read, Ezra in the Apocrypha talking to the Most High and what the Most High have done for us, so many things He had done for us. It's like, what more can I do? Do for you.
That's like the power of experience and living under another culture for so long. It takes time to read of it.
Even like I said, the movies affecting us and all that stuff that the Most High did, wash us, wash all of that stuff out of us, Because when we came out of Egypt, the golden calf, that delivered us after we saw all of that. So it affected us, the food in Egypt, and we're gonna die out here in the wilderness of thirst and hunger, all of these things. So let's continue. Verse 10. But on the other side, there sounded an ill-according cry of the enemies, and a lamentable noise was carried abroad for children that were bewailed. Verse 11, the master and the servant were punished after one manner, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. So, like we read before that, even not the Pharaoh, down to the common person out there that the Most High had punished them.
It's like from small to great. Even if you're king, from the king on down, they all suffer the same way. They all had the same punishment. Most I put all of them in the same basket. punish them the same way.
Sama.
And that's how the Most High's judgment operates. That's what people don't get, right? The Most High destroyed or jacked up Egypt. So everybody's gonna have to feel it, right? Now Pharaoh may have been the one who was stubborn and said, "I ain't letting them go. I'm gonna do this to them." But guess what? Everybody else had to feel the brunt of what he did. Right, so you could be in your house as an Egyptian, not even paying attention to what the heck happened to in Pharaoh's palace between Moses and them and their conversation. But now you're going into your vessel of water, and you're like, "Yo, why is my vessel blood?
Yeah.
Why do I got blood in my vessel?" You gonna turn the water blood? You gonna hit blood? What's going on? Most I jacked them all up.
Right.
Flip side, he did the same thing with us. When we sin. When you have a person sin within the nation, the Most High cursed the nation, right? So nobody can come up and always use the excuse, "Well, it wasn't me." Well, guess what? Okay, it may not have been you specifically, but you are part of that nation. The Most High says you now, because you should have checked your own. Like we check our own, or should have checked our own, right? That's what the Lord did during the time of Joshua. He said, "Listen, Achan took up the accursed thing. I'm cursing all of you." And Joshua was like, "Yo, whoa. Hold on, we gotta find him because I ain't done nothing." So to stop the Most High from cursing me and everybody else, we gotta find him and get rid of him.
Right.
And they went and found him, killed him, his wife, his kids, all of them, his animals, everything.
Everybody.
To show the Most High that, listen, we vigilant in getting this sin up out of here. The Most High was like, "All right, cool," right? So it's the same thing. They all got judged, from the king down to the person who was a freaking scrubbing the floors. All of them got the same thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the Most High, when he made the contract, he made the contract with the nation, with the whole nation. And even somebody who may not be in the room signing, or you were just like a little peon in that.
They got nothing to do with it.
But I mean, actually, you do have something to do with it because you go along with the same thing that system is uphold, even if you don't see anything.
Right, but
You're part of it. And plus, the contract is actually with that nation.
Okay.
Like when the Most High in the contract with Israel, all Israel benefits from it. That's why when we fell as a nation.
Right.
Yeah, we're all feeling it. Even for example, even those in this, some of our people who have have money and things like that, they feel it too. They go through their things and you see it, it's like, wow, he or she have money to do this and so on and so forth, but they feel it too. Verse 12. So they altogether had innumerable debt with one kind of debt. Neither were the living sufficient to bear them, for in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. So, like I said, they fell through too, from the top coming all the way to the bottom. Remember we talk about the husbandman, those in the field, they fell through too.
You had more dead than alive. You read that, right?
More dead than alive?
Yeah.
No.
Verse 12?
Oh, verse. Neither were the living sufficient to bury them.
Right, so there was more dead than alive. Not enough people to bury those. Not enough people alive to bury those that died.
Verse 13. For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn, they acknowledged these people to be the sons of God. So, remember, Pharaoh had this magician doing certain things to, and even their magician, they realized this. is the hand of the most, is the hand of God.
You can't handle it.
Yeah.
Magician.
Yeah, go on, Mark.
After all, with the Most High, the 9 plagues, we got to the 10th one. That was it. It was like, he's got to be the sons of the living power. After this, because like you said, everyone's firstborn son. What kind of enchantment could do that? What kind of sorcery or witchcraft has the power to control and do that? None of it, because the Most High controls life and death. Right? So when they saw that, they said, man, these people are the sons of God. They have power behind them to do all of this stuff. I mean, when you look at the flies and the locusts and the darkness and the vessels of water and you start thinking, I know about like the 5th or 6th plague. They was like, they had to be like, yo, something ain't right here. Like, why are we going through this? Yeah, this is like, come on now. And then they started creeping up. And that last one, you killed my son. That's it, man. And like you said, when you start seeing the bodies of all the Egyptians that's dead, cries every house had a cry. You saying yourself, man, all right, this, they just let them go. Get them out. And the scriptures say, when they came to that, when they said, these are the sons of God, it wasn't that they just said, these are the sons of God. It was like, look, get out. Like, leave here.
We'd be all dead men.
Leave here now. Listen, get out of here. Because the scripture tells you that they feared that they were still going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you see this happen, you see death, you don't know what's next. You might think, hey, I'm next. Get out of here.
Take my money and my gold. Go ahead. Give them all kinds of tools, right?
No, we spoil them.
Take what you want, but get the hell out of
Take
here.
everything we want.
And then he hardened his heart for him to go chase him, though.
Well, it was the woman. She wanted.
And they even found, that's the movie. Oh, there wasn't a woman in the Bible.
Please, the movies.
He might have a wife saying
But
that.
some did, some they don't go out there like that.
But God hardened his heart again. He might have had a wife talking and stuff, but the thing is, that's in the movies.
Yeah, let me.
But they don't say that in the Bible.
Exactly. Let me read this. Exodus 12:33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men. So it's like, get out.
Right. We might be next.
We be all dead.
That's why I'm still trying to figure out how they let Pharaoh make them go chase them people after them people just killed their firstborn.
Right.
Because the Most High had it put it that way.
Oh, he hardened their heart. He
put it that way and said that, the people might be entrapped.
He wanted Pharaoh to go after him so he can be adventurous.
He could really show his power.
Yeah.
Right, that's what happened. That's how Pharaoh bowed down and said, you God, he is God. He bowed his own head down.
Oh, I don't know, that's the movies.
Well, he did.
That's the
He bowed
movies.
his head down.
It's that.
I'm sure he did something that he's in that Red Sea swallow up his. Well,
He was there too.
He died too. The movie showed him standing on the side, but he was leading the back, right?
He stopped.
He was in the movie. He was there too. Pharaoh and his men.
He still sent them.
It's not like today. The president stay in the White House, hiding, and then send his troops. Right then, you're king. You're the head of the army. You're right there with them. You're fighting. You're fighting the fight. If we go down, we all go down. Right now, they're in suit, hiding in bunkers, and then sending people out there.
He's in the movie. He was standing on
movies.
The ocean front. He wasn't in the ditch with the people when they drowned in the movie. But the Bible said he was leading the back. He went down with him.
He went down with him.
It's a real king. Just like Yahushua ain't gonna send back and then send people fight. He's gonna be.
Well, he would lead
He's
the
gonna
pack.
he's gonna be leading the fight. Right? And you read in Revelation how he's gonna do that. That's what a king does.
Basra, he
That's
won't do
what
it by
he
himself in Basra.
Right. So he's gonna be getting down.
Yeah. Blood up to
Yeah, let me read
his
it.
garments. Look like he's been working in a wine press all day. That's blood. Killing all
Yeah.
them damn Edomites.
So like Exodus 15 and 4, it says,
war gear.
Exodus 15 and 4, Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts had he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. So,
What is that? Exodus what?
15 and 3. 15 and 4. 15 and 4, yeah. And Pharaoh's too.
That part of the movie is wrong for
When he's standing on the bank looking.
Yes! Yes!
I mean, one thing you'll know with movies that's depicted off of a book, that they're going to embellish and add their own things for the cinematic feel of it, right?
Put their own spin on it.
Put their own little spin on it. It's usually never 100% the same as what's in the book. Deviate, they add extra little scenes in there because and sometimes it's because if you know how movies get greenlit or how certain people get the floor, when people write, they got to go through a screening.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go and edit it, right? They go look and say, I'm going to take this line out, we're going to take that out. You want to put that in there. That's why people watch Ten Commandments and say, hold on, he threw the rod down, but why didn't he put his hand inside his bosom like it says and come out left? Oh, because he was already left. So those type things is purposely and conveniently left out to meet, some of the people who are backing the movie for the intent. Outside of just, no one's in there that's of noteworthy, that's of people of color, you're going to have certain storylines taken out or added in.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you would have to have Moses black.
Even when the brother, I think it was the Levi brother, portrayed himself as Jesus in the movie, they said, look, you have to put some white actors in there. You have to put, some Jewish people in there, white folks in there. Otherwise, it's not going to sell. So he had to put those in. Although he know Christ was black, and he had to put some white characters in there as if they're the leaders and so on and so forth. For Hollywood's sake.
I had somebody did a short film. They didn't even got to do a long movie. They could just do a short film.
Yeah.
A 15-minute film showing you how Shah's black, but up to date. Like with today's feel of it, to kind of just give that image, because we don't have that image. Like we just see Yahweh. That's why Jake don't want to deal with the Bible, because the images all reflect Esau.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, who's gonna do it?
I mean, Jake got money.
Other than us, that's in the truth.
Yeah.
Who wanna do
What
it
you call
exactly?
what you call talking about
Nobody
doing
else.
it?
Spike Lee?
No. What's his name? I can
I
see his
did the
face.
dude with Madea.
No. This was a while ago. This is I remember talking about it on our Arsenio Hall show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can see his face. He talked about doing it and then getting a whole bunch of backlash about doing the movie. And he was like, why is it such a big deal of a black man playing Jesus Christ when even the Bible said he was a man of color? But he could be a white man, which is not a Bible, and this is just okay.
Right, it's psychological. Yeah. They know the ramification of it. If he let him be black, because he's gonna go a long way.
Big time producer.
He was in he was in the movie with man, I'm catching the brain freeze.
I mean, for his
Is he a big time producer though?
In New Jack City. He
Played
was
in
a
New
cop
Jack
in New
City?
Jack City. He was what you call his partner. He was Ice-T's partner, the black dude.
Wesley Snipes?
No. Wesley Snipes wasn't a cop.
No, he wasn't. He was a drug dealer.
No, not Ice-T's partner. Yeah, because Ice-T was a cop, but he was undercover.
Right.
Right.
the guy who he was working with to go bring them down. He was a cop, black.
Was Peoples there?
Him?
Was Peoples there? But Mario Van
Mario Van Peoples, him.
That's who it was.
That's what I'm talking about. Mario Van
He
Peoples.
wasn't.
Mario
Yeah,
People.
Mario Van Peoples. He was the one that brought that out.
Oh, yeah?
Back then, during the time of our
He made another joint that they was upset with them, didn't he?
It might have been that.
Django still made that.
That was
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
A lot of the stuff that we talk about, we already have the script, right? It's things that we can do,
Good.
right? We're not looking to make money or be major or anything. If we want to put something like that together, low budget, with camera, it can be done.
If we circulated this with all the groups,
Yeah, it can be
I
done.
think they would agree with that. We all agree that he was black, so if we circulate this with all the groups, everybody will
We got the
come
script.
together.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel or do anything. So if you want it to be done pure, we have to do it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
we'll have somebody who don't know the truth.
No.
It's gonna be tempered.
I think all the groups would agree with that. That's something that we can agree on, that he was black. So
Right.
we make a movie with him being black. I think it will all come
It's circulated
together.
in the group. Next
But-
thing
but-
you know, it's everywhere just for people to see. Just like when we go out camping, people see it.
Yeah, but just like even say, no, just say, oh, they did a movie of Black Jesus, and he got a 40 ounce with him, drinking a 40 ounce and he walking in the hood. I don't know, did anybody saw that?
Jesus did drink. It's cool.
He don't wine.
But it was like a comment, it was like a mockery.
Right. But if we do it, we'll do it more like in style,
You know, we ain't gonna do it like that.
like that.
Like that movie Will Smith put out with that superhero called, what was the superhero called?
Will Smith?
Yeah, he pulled a movie out. Will Smith played the part. He was a superhero.
Oh, yeah.
But he
Yeah,
had to- why that nigga had to be drunk all the time? That's the only bad part. It was a good movie, but they had to pull drunk all the time. Like black people got problems.
But what do we expect? It's not people who know the truth that are doing it.
All right, let's get back. Verse 14.
Yeah.
For while all things were in quiet silence, that night was in the midst of her swift course. Verse 15, thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy holy throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction.
Heavy.
What's that right
It's a heavy, huh?
What's that right there?
A man of war. Like
What verse you on?
Verse 15.
Exodus 15 and 3.
He said he reached down to heaven.
Yeah.
From the heaven. Out of the royal throne.
Exodus 15 and 3.
Yeah.
All right. Is that? Oh, yes.
Your all powerful word.
Exodus 15 and 3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
That's
So-
number 15, this right here.
15 and 3. Yeah.
15 and 3 can go with this, huh?
Verse 15.
Verse 15.
Right, go with this, 15.
Thy almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne. So what is that concept here?
Word.
Reach down. Focus on-
Go on, Papa.
That was the word. That came down.
I mean, Exodus 15 and 3.
That's the word that came down from out of the heavens, wasn't it?
Huh? What is that concept?
Wasn't that the word that came down? That was, it said the word reached down from the heavens,
John 1 and 1.
the royal throne.
Oh.
John 1 and 1. St. John 1 verse 1.
So I said, this is heavy. going to be remnant of the same thing again.
And also 1 and 1 and then 1 and 14.
14. What's that?
St. John 1 verse 1 and then you go to 1 verse 14. The word jumped out of heaven.
Mm-hmm. That's a good piece of history there. That's not even in Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
That the Almighty Word, Yahweh said, boom,
So they
coming out of heaven.
Right.
To what? Bring vengeance on those Egyptians down
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
there. Yahweh
Just like he did.
came and did that.
And it's going to happen the same way
And
again.
it's
in
gonna happen
Revelation.
again. Yahweh is coming to do it again.
That
Bathing himself in Basra.
Who is that, right?
Mhm.
The express image of the Most High.
You-
Deep the ankle bar.
Say again?
Said something deep, ain't it?
Yeah, so let's talk about Yahweh Shah.
His word, yeah. He threw his word out of the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
So where is that at? Is that when he killed the firstborn, or when is that he did that?
Oh, verse 15?
Yeah,
When did it happen?
is the whole time they talking about? Is the Red Sea incident, or when is that?
I mean, like,
When did it happen?
you remember you had the firstborn. That,
Right.
yeah, the firstborn.
That's
And,
when he leaped out of heaven, or it was the whole time of all those plagues?
His word.
I guess it's when he leaped out of heaven and killed the firstborn.
yeah, remember the dead angel? And we're celebrating our first Passover.
Yeah, that's when he did that then.
The word came out.
And the Red Sea, too.
So it came out twice.
Verse 16. And brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death. And it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth.
Verse 16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is deep. What we about to read.
Yeah, and it's what thine unfaint.
Unfeigned, like,
What does that mean? Unfaint.
you know, let loose. Wasn't restrained.
Meaning the original, the true, the unfaint commandment,
Mhm.
the authentic, the real.
Mhm.
That's like when you read the scriptures, the Most High gave Israel a commandment for a charge to do.
Mhm.
Sometimes we do it, we kind of half-ass it, or we don't do it according to how it's written or whatever. Yahweh did it as the Most High wanted it to be done perfectly.
Right.
Everything that how the Lord wanted it to be done,
He did.
done.
Right.
He did.
And the way he leaped from heaven, it's just like he came exactly in the Most High's mind. Right there. Exactly how the Most High's mind wanted to happen.
He did.
That's exactly how he came in and did it. It's just like he's inside the Most High's mind.
And then that's the mental part. When you look at it from the physical part, Yahweh sitting on beside the Most High on his throne. Right? He has his throne, seated at the right hand of the Father.
He on the right hand side.
Now, remember when the disciples asked Yahweh, when shall these things be?
Mhm.
Right? And Yahweh said, no man knoweth the hour of the day, save the Most High. Right? So the Most High gives Yahweh a commandment, and then boom, he acts upon it.
Yeah.
So Yahweh still sitting on his throne. Even today, right now, Yahweh sitting on his throne. When
Yeah.
the Most High says, son,
Mhm.
whoo, he's leaping out. He's coming again. Coming with the judgment.
He coming right there.
The judgment is written already. It's just that now he hasn't been given that authority to go until the set appointed time.
Oh.
So here, what the Lord was doing to the Egyptians, if he knew what was going to happen, then what happened? Boom, Yahweh leaked out. They go execute it.
Okay.
It's that time.
It's go time. Yahweh waiting for go time again.
So he's sitting there waiting.
It's not like saying we're gonna save, some of the,
He's sitting there waiting.
some of the Amalek. We're gonna save, Amalek, or we're gonna make a little agreement with certain group, and when they come, it's like, oh, we agree not to kill them or save a few, whatever, and it's like it's gonna be a thorn in our side,
Yeah,
It's like what, the Moses said, it's like when we're gonna get the land of Israel, the land of Canaan, the Moses said, destroy this, destroy that. Destroy all of, destroy this and destroy that. Do it. Don't like this is.
I wonder if this thing on God's right, is that before or after Armageddon?
Again.
Because he's supposed to do that by himself, right? God's right.
When you look at, what do you see as Armageddon?
Well, that's when all the world's going to come against him.
Okay, so your action is going to be after what? After all the world comes against him?
I'm saying, I think the thing with Basra, where he go in there and kill all the white people by himself, I think that's going to be before he go against the whole world. Or it might be after. So which one is it?
If they're coming against him, they're going to come against him to go and try to do what? Kill him.
Right.
Why wouldn't he be defending himself and going out there killing them?
But when they go for him, well, it's more than one episode, though. Not unless they talk about the same one, because
Like I said, it's more than one episode.
More.
in the biographer, it looked like he's fighting by himself. He goes up on that mountain. The mountain's supposed to be Israel, though, right?
Mount Zion?
I believe so. And he go to the top of the mountain, and then fire come out of his mouth, and he burned the whole multitude, right?
Well, that's figurative.
And both. And he's going to do it with the words of his mouth, but it also,
It's going to be like Godzilla?
yeah.
the fire is the word.
Yeah.
I think it's both, though.
It's going to be Godzilla.
You guys do
They
it.
said, well, not enough for smoke and Templar stuff. I mean,
Yeah, but why is that? Because of the bombs and things that's going to be dropping. That's why the smoke. Remember, the heavens shall roll like a great
right.
scroll. So yeah, when that happens during Armageddon, there's going to be a lot of destruction. It's going to be nothing but smoke left here in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The scriptures describe in Peter. It says that in Isaiah. It says it in different places. That's what's going to happen.
That fire is moving.
Huh?
That fire come out of his mouth.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
What about?
I was not going to be standing on top of the mountain. He's going to come down and stand and go to Israel. He's going to sit down and do a doggone thing. Just stand back.
That's very look. It seemed like that when you read it. I understand what you're saying.
Hey, don't you
sometimes when you don't know word, you submit. That's fire.
stand back?
Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I thought it was both.
Like you said, when it said Jeremiah 5, right? I mean, these people would.
No, what about the chariots? Is the chariots going to be burning things up or not?
Burn things up like what? Like fire going to be coming out of the chariot?
Right.
You read that yet?
Yeah.
Where?
When he comes, he's going to have thousands of chariots to put.
Okay, I'm not talking about the chariots coming. I'm talking about if you read a description when the chariots come, they're going to be shooting beams of fire out.
I didn't read that.
So yeah.
But I thought it was understood since they're coming with all these thousands of chariots.
It was understood. So if you say it's understood that they're coming with fire, why wouldn't I say when it's understood they can be shooting out swords or lasers? Like, wow, I could make up a whole bunch of stuff. Like I just said, I could make up a whole bunch of stuff, but that's not what the Most High said.
That's not what it says.
Yeah.
But the Basra thing, he gonna physically actually be cutting people in half with a sword.
Yahusha gonna be coming and doing his thing.
You gonna come back and get
Angels gonna be doing their thing. Israel gonna be doing their thing.
Yeah.
Anybody can
Read that in Joel. It says that they're gonna be fighting, and when they get hit, nothing is gonna happen to them.
Right.
They get shot, like somebody can shoot a gun and a bullet come and hit you, nothing's gonna happen to you, because no weapon form is gonna hurt you.
Right. Everything will be protected.
You're gonna be like yes, you gonna be different.
Like your body gonna transform.
Yeah.
It's like a young lion, right?
You'll be a different person.
But the Basra thing, he gonna be killing these people all by himself, I'm saying.
When you read that chapter pertaining to Yahushua and how he's gonna come, it's like specifically focused on Yahushua.
Right.
It's not saying that when Yahushua comes, like all the angels and everybody else is like it's like a stand back. Stand back.
It's not saying.
It's not saying, it's focusing on what he's gonna be doing at that place at that time. Things is gonna be going on. It's not like the whole world is gonna stop doing the war and the only thing that's gonna be happening is with Yahushua. No, it's gonna be Armageddon everywhere. But it's focusing on what Yahushua is gonna be going through at that time with Esau.
He gonna do.
Because
By himself, though.
yeah, it's focusing on him. That's like if when you read the scriptures in the gospel, and I don't want to go too far because we can go further on it.
Yeah.
It's like you read the scriptures and the scriptures are talking about Yahushua. Peter and them is there. Luke and all of them is there. And they telling you what they doing is focusing on what? Yahushua. It's not to say that they ain't doing a dogma thing. They're there. Like when Peter cut the person ear off.
Right.
You don't know that somebody like, yeah, that's right, Peter. They don't talk about what that happened. They're just telling you about what they want you to focus on.
Right.
That's what it's doing.
Why is it? Why is that focused on Yahushua?
Because he's the head man.
That's it. He's the king.
He's the head man.
That's it. He's the king. He's coming, and that's his kingdom. He's coming to take over.
Right. Do his job.
It's about him.
The Most High said he's going to use Israel as a battle axe as well.
Right.
Yeah.
All that's gonna come. Yahushua taking over. It's about him. What we ask for it every day. I hope we pray that every day. That kingdom come.
That kingdom come.
Yeah, that will be done in earth as it is in heaven. That's pretty much what we pray for every day.
Yeah. Read Psalms 2.
Right.
Okay, we're in verse 16. And brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up fill all things with depth. And it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. Verse 17, then suddenly visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore, and terrors came upon them unlooked for. Verse 18, and one thrown here and another there, half dead, showed the cause of death. Showed the cause of his death.
That part right here. It's 17, right? 16. Where it says, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon earth. Get that part right here. That's it. That's the establishment. That's Matthew right there. Matthew 6 and 9. That's the extension that we've always been looking for. That will be, it's 18 and 16.
16.
And it touched, it says, and it touched, filled all things with death, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon earth. That's what we've been praying for. It's the extension of the heaven being established here on earth.
Yeah.
As it is in heaven, that's what we do.
Right.
Yeah. So all the other nations, they had a chance of ruling. Then this is the last kingdom to rule.
Right.
This is our last captivity.
Right.
So these are like say in Genesis 49.
Instead of being in heaven at this time where he is right now, now he's gonna be on earth. But everything's gonna be a reflection of heaven. He's on earth.
And like I said, Genesis 49:1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. So these are the last days. Are you here? You know, talking about the last day. Even when Christ to be born, we were looking for the Messiah.
Right.
As foretold. Right? We were looking for it here and reading scriptures and everything. All the captivity that we were in under the Romans, we were looking for the Messiah, right? To come. And then he came.
Right.
Some of us believed, and some of us did not believe. And some of us believed even, you know, after his death, that they realized it's him. You know, that was foretold. Yeah, to come. So that feeling of that time when Christ was born, the Messiah, we're in that mode. But now we're in the last days because we see these things all over. You know, wars, rumor of wars, and so forth, and an uprising, all these things that are happening. And we say, like, these are the last days. Different nations have nuclear bombs to, you know, wipe out a lot of people and so on and so forth and destroy a lot. You see all these things that say, these are the last days so we're in the last days moment.
Esau probably gonna come. You know, he can't sleep. No, he can't sleep. One day they may wake up and they start seeing things that they cannot explain about, you know, the last days.
Yeah. So Israel is, you know, continuing because, you know, they have their land, the government, their military, whatever forces they see out there, they say, oh, we can go send the military and quench this and quench that and quench that, you know, any uprising. Oh, we've seen this before. So like even back when I read Isaiah 47 and 13, right? Let me read it one more time again. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers and the monthly procrastinator stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. So they're looking to have their witchcraft and all that stuff that they doing, and they have cameras and radars and all these things checking everything 24/7 for anything that can come. Even like say, when they encounter certain UFOs. I'm saying what, you know, they say, oh, it's not on radar. And it's there, you know? Or it says, you know, all these things that is in their instruments not working and so on and so forth. So they're looking for these things that they can try to figure out, you know, even Christ's second coming. Because they have they said that they have the military and they're gonna fight against Christ. Verse 20. Yeah, the tasting of death touched the righteous also, and there was a destruction of the multitude in the wilderness, but the wrath endured not long, because even Moses, you know, prayed for us for certain things that we were doing. You know, we made the golden calf. We talk about the food. We talk about we're gonna die of hunger, you know, thirst. We're gonna die of thirst, and so on and so forth. So it came to a point that, you know, they came and, you know, the Most High, you know, opened up the earth and killed quite a number of us. You know, but it didn't last long to wipe us out. Because the Most High, Moses prayed for us and so on and so forth that Even to say that, oh, the Most High brought us out of Egypt to kill us in the wilderness. So, you know, so it would look like, oh, yeah, they left Egypt and now they're all dead. It's like, big deal, you know? But no, it didn't endure long. The first generation passed out, you know, passed, and then the second generation was able to go because all that stuff we're complaining against the Most High for, as if the Most High could not, you know, deliver us and we're going to die of hunger and thirst. Verse 21, for then the blameless man made haste and stood forth to defend them, which is Moses.
Verse 19, right? Verse 20. It's the same thing that we see right here. It's like it's a plague. Right. The plague happens, but it didn't last long. It went away by itself. Kind of like what we have today. They call it a pandemic. It was the same thing. These things been happening not just now. They've always been happening. But after a while, you get back to your natural stuff and start doing things you're supposed to do. That thing will go away by itself. Right? You take the medicine, and then, but even if it goes away now, it's gonna come back because we're still breaking laws. We're still not doing things the way we're supposed to. So it goes and comes back. It goes and comes back.
Yeah, because even a lot of stuff, even a lot of vile stuff, some of our people are doing out there and so on and so forth. The strip club and all this, and certain things, and the most I like to shut that down. Shut it down. So it's like I'm quite sure certain people like I'm gonna stop doing certain things and even coming to the truth. You know why these things are happening. You know, come to the, you know, some of our people wake up. I always say some of our people might wake up and come to the truth.
We still go doing the same thing. Because why? Because they got away with it. Well, before they got away with it.
These things happen because we're not right. Those plagues, everything has been happening. Even the plagues that the Most High outlined that would happen, all these things already, they there. Just waiting for the time when it hits that point, boom, it starts hitting.
Yeah, because even back in the day, you know, even certain things that people do, drugs that people, certain diseases out there, they say, okay, fine, because do something and cure this and cure that and fix this and fix that. But this is like, it's just there, you know? And they trying to figure out a whole lot of stuff, but it's there. People are dying, you know? And it's not even touching somebody else, it's just people just dying.
Why would we expect the authorities of today to tell us? Do social distancing, because they're making stuff up as they go along, because they really don't know how to handle it, right? But the righteous know, do the right thing, you know, to the best of your ability. You don't have to worry about it, right? You're not gonna put yourself in harm's way or go in the midst of a bunch of people you know that's infected. You say, no, nothing gonna happen. You're not gonna do that. Follow the laws of the Most High. The Most High sees the Most High already have it. People who are doing right, you'll be all right. Right, but they're gonna tell you do social distancing, do this, and but cleanliness law, we should have been observed that up to begin with. Do all the things that we're supposed to be doing, then we'll be all right.
Because even me, you know, like saying back in the day, people, you know, when they were talking about the AIDS, and they say, oh, the AIDS epidemic and things like that was they didn't even show how it was being transmitted, and then they kind of found, you know, at that time, even the point that I was even volunteering in the hospital and feeding the patient with gown and gloves and masks and all of these things, and you know, we didn't know how it was transmittable until you learn later on. But this is just the Most High, you know, doing this. Who's gonna? Because that is, you know, people, you know, born and die every day and stuff like that. When the Most High do certain things, they had to shut down a lot of things.
It's like when they had the sickle cell, remember? Sickle cell? A lot of people was, you know, facing that. They didn't know they had the sickle cell. It would go away very quick. Pass away, you know?
Yeah. All right.
And, you know, it's been a long time. I was doing with this sister. I didn't when she had the sickle cell. And she was somebody down, you know, and girl you were dealing with. She passed away. I couldn't believe it. And you know, then you go get a sickle cell shot. Make sure that you don't have it. You know what I mean?
Verse 21. For then the blameless man made haste, which is Moses, and stood forth to defend them and bring in the shield of his proper ministry, even prayer and the propitiation of incense, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end, declaring that he was thy servant. So Moses, intercede for the Israelites.
What propitiation? What's the meaning to it?
Find the exact, like an intercession.
Propitiation. So, I mean, you can see what it means based on what's happening in this right here.
Like an intercession?
Right. Let's say, what are we doing? We're breaking away from the Most High. Right? We're breaking away from the Most High. We're doing things contrary to what the Most High tells us to do. So now he try to bring us back to, connect us back to the Most High.
And atone, you say, having power to atone for an or offered by way of expiation. And
Like
atone.
Reconcile. Like
reconcile or appease.
Right.
Come back together.
Right.
Verse 22, so he overcame the destroyer, which the destroyer, like how Egypt had the destroyer, the death angel, not with strength of body, nor force of arms. So not with his strength, he's gonna stop the death angel or force with his arms, or with a word subdued him that punished, alleging the oaths and covenants made with the fathers. Because remember the covenant, the agreement that the Most High made with our fathers, that so on and so forth, and then Most High, the Most High is, if I remember, he's gonna even wipe them out and make an agreement with Moses, make a nation with him, and Moses had to plead for us.
And when we read in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, it tells us how these plagues would come. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 68 tells us what brings plagues. Breaking of the Most High's law brings the plague.
Curses, yeah.
The curses activated, we call it curses, right? When we read it in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. So how did he solve the problem? Come in and reconcile us back to the Most High. So how did they solve it today? They start a bunch of nonsense.
Deuteronomy 28 and what?
Right. Deuteronomy 28. You start at the 15th verse. Going down, yeah. So that's how you deal with what they call invisible enemy. The invisible enemy can be dealt with if the right thing is done. If the right thing is done. It can be dealt with. That's the secret that the world don't know, that we know.
Right. Do the right thing and things will fall through.
Exactly. I mean, tell that to a doctor right now.
Even 1632. Even just one instance that Numbers 1632. Verse number 1632. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. And there's other instances that the Most High killed, stop the plague, that the Moses interceded for us.
Of course, it's going to happen in different ways. People are going to know different things, viruses and things like that, and then match it in the lab or whatever, and create something that is more, that is powerful. Yeah, you can study them now with, with the expensive equipment that they have. But and all in all, those are devices the Most High use whenever things are not working right. Those things you can use them and cause havoc. Whether it's taking one here, one there, put it together. Because we wise to do evil anyway.
Even Exodus 32 and 11. Gabar? Exodus 32 and 11, and read further down.
Exodus 32 and 11. And Moses besought the Lord his God, and said, Lord, why doeth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand?
Yeah, read down.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to save them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people.
Yeah. No, that's it. So don't wipe them out. Moses pleading to the Most High, don't wipe them out, because they just think that, bring them out just to kill them.
He paid for it.
Yes, Moses did.
He had the same with most time. So he begged for our liberty.
That's for precept 22.
Yeah, verse 22.
18 and 22.
Verse 23, for when the dead were now fallen down by heaps, one upon another, standing between, he stayed the rod and parted the way to the living.
Dropping.
Yeah.
Not the first time it happens. It seems like it's something new.
Yeah, the Most High.
Imagine people dropping, boom. one after the other. Drops.
Yeah, so just like in Amos 3:1.
In the wilderness.
Okay, in the wilderness.
Does it sound like what's happening? What's happening today? People dropping.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you read Amos 3:1, go on, read it for me, please.
Amos what?
3:1 and 2.
Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquity.
Yeah. So Moses said he will punish us.
Why are most people dying right now? And they say Hispanic and African American,
Right.
quote unquote. I mean, Musa said he's gonna start out his house first, right? To give us a warning before it happens. Let me give them a warning so they can wake up. I did it before. I did it again. I did it over again. It's the same thing repeating itself.
Well, people are dying out too.
Right. Our people are. I mean, it's not surprising. Our people will have the most numbers because the Most High is using those type of things to warn these people before the destruction come full fledged.
So that's why it's rating of our people first. You know, because you hear on the news.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they say African Americans got the most.
Right. Put it two and two together based on what we know, based on what we're reading here. The Most High always start with his people first, give them the warning. And then for those that's supposed to be wake up to see it. But if we listen to the scientists, we listen to the people more than we listen to the Most High, we just run for the mask. And we forget about all these things that are here that we know from before. We run for the mask. The first thing, that's what become our protection. So we keep moving further away from the Most High rather than more closer to what the plate is telling us.
Right.
Because even Psalm 68 and 20, it says that he that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto God the Lord belong the issues from death.
That's it.
68.
68.
Yeah, the issues of death. Most High controls that. Nobody died before their time without the Most High. No, or somebody just killed somebody and sent it to the Most High in his own will. That control the Most High has. If you see somebody drop, that's how the Most High want that spirit to go back up. I can go back to the Most High voluntarily. Somebody just send him to the Most High. It don't work like that. Based on what we read.
Yeah. Issues of debt. Verse 24. For in the long garment was the whole world, and in the 4 rows of the stones was the glory of the fathers graven, and thy majesty upon the diadem of his head. So with the priest garment, verse 24. The whole description of the priest's garment.
That was the only thing.
Exodus 20. Let me see, 28.
That's another, this is another, I'm gonna put this in right now.
Exodus 28.
No. It says, it's another, this a link, this could be another link to John 3:16. This is a good link to John 3:16 right here.
Which one?
Verse 24.
Verse 24.
Yeah. Look at what it says.
The long garments. I mean, I said,
For in the long garment was the whole world. For in the long garment was the whole world. Can't be talking about everybody on the planet Earth. Ain't talking about that, right? So, but what was on the garment? The 4 rows of what? The stones for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's what that's getting into. But it's going into the whole world was in this garment or represented.
Oh, yeah. See that
That
one.
world
That
is talking about Israel. That's what that garment represented that the priest had on. That is a good that's a good makeup right there to go with that.
God so loved the world.
Yeah.
Whole
That
world.
priestly garment had that. You'll see certain brothers now who are well. I think you have one.
No, this is the 12 tribes.
Yeah. But I'm saying you have one with the don't you have one?
Oh, the 4 rows.
With the 4 rows of
and-
stones
yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was John 3:16.
So for in the long garment was the whole world. The world of Israel right here. Because it reference to what the priestly garment, which is Exodus 28. Exodus 28, the whole garment that the priests have.
What you said, Exodus 28
Yeah.
or 20 and 8?
Exodus 28.
That's the whole thing, the whole chapter.
Yeah, because the Most High describe all the priestly garment, but he's supposed to have. He's supposed to have all this stuff.
So now I'm gonna read it. This is Exodus 28 and 17.
17.
Because the 28th chapter is going into the garments that the priest would have on, right? So in Exodus 20:17, it says, and thou shalt set in it settings of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. The second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, and an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold in their enclosing. Now here's the key. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Every one with his name, they shall be according to the 12 tribes. So that's what that represented. And that is the world of the Most High, Israel. So when it says they had the whole world in their garments, it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel was represented on the garments of the priests.
Which chapter was that?
Exodus 28.
He started from when?
17.
17.
Exodus 28.
Okay. 21. Yeah, I like this one.
28 and what, Uncle?
Exodus 28:17 down to 21.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The link of John 3:16. Yes.
Yeah.
The whole world. Yeah.
Is another aspect of even the Old Testament and the New Testament is collaborating to let you know what the world is.
What's that word, wisdom of Solomon that you were saying?
I didn't see what
Who had wisdom of Solomon before I went back in the back?
It's precept 24. It's precept about the 24. Wisdom of Solomon. All us precepts in 24.
Oh, that was 24, 18 and 24.
Yeah.
And what was the wisdom of Solomon and what was the precept?
was Exodus 28:17 and John 3:16.
Oh, okay.
They talking about the world. Like everybody said, John, that God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. The world.
Yeah, we're waiting for Psalm 3:16.
This is explaining what the world is.
Yeah, 3:16.
Because here it seems as if it might be like the whole world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into the different parts, the stones and diadems, and not the whole world. All right.
I might bring that out on the corner if I get there.
Huh?
I may bring that out on the corner if I get there. If they still there when I get there today, I might bring that up. But we already knew they talking about the world, but just to let people understand what they're talking about.
Verse 25. Unto these the destroyer gave place and was afraid of them, for it was enough that they only taste of the wrath. Oh, tasted, yes. Unto these the destroyer gave place and was afraid of them, for it was enough that they only tasted of the wrath.
And the destroyer pretty much has its power, but the power can be quelled when we reconcile back to the Most High, because that's just the destroyer's job. The destroyer's job is just like, just it's there just to, as punishment's sake. Just like when somebody go to prison, right? The prison place is there just to receive people who commit crimes. Right? If you commit crimes against the law, you're gonna go to that prison. But the prison is not responsible. The prison is there to receive those who commit crime. Right, who do wrong. So the destroyer or the avenger is there to punish those who do wrong against what the Most High set as his law. If you break the law, the destroyer is always there to implement, execute the sentence of the lawbreaker, those who break the law. Right? So that's why the Bible is a book of law, right? That's gonna Israel will use to be in the system, put it this way.
So
No society, no government can run without law. So you see what happens when there's no law, lawlessness. So it makes sense in the kingdom of the Most High, the law reigns supreme.
on to Mark like this one. He's gonna read it for me.
Which one?
Hebrews 10:31. So we only taste of the wrath. So when we see a lot of Israel dying in front of us, we're like, wow, you know?
Right. Shut the prison system. Yeah, that means shut the door.
Yeah, we're like,
Have the door shut so you can appease us.
Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power.
yeah, so we only tasted that. So when you see, here when some Israel were just dying off, just like that, or even say when the earth open up and kill a whole bunch of us, like, wow. Throw that weed down, throw that cigarette down, that's right, So that's only a taste that we got. So when we see these things happening, we're like, wow. What?
We can see also the Most High can give you a reduced sentence, right? Or he can quell it, but he will not change the law.
Right.
Right? If we start doing the right thing,
Mhm.
then the sentence will be reduced.
Right.
Right? If we see what they say, if we turn back, if my people we turn back, and start doing the right thing, then these things will not come upon them. But he will not change the law. Whatever he says is gonna happen,
It's gonna happen.
so that's how we can count on. There's no law that's gonna be changed. Change this because this didn't work. Change that because that didn't work. That's not,
So even Hebrews 12 and 7.
You had 10:31. You got Hebrews
12 and
yeah?
7.
Hebrews 12 and 7.
All right. So it says Hebrew 12 and 7. It says, if ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? For verse 8. But if ye be without chastisement, wherefore all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Sometimes it's Esau doing all kind of crazy stuff, and then it's like, what about them? It's like they doing all kind of crazy stuff, and they don't, get all the punishment like how we get the punishment. It said, but it's gonna come. Their time is gonna come. It's gonna come that could the Most High say? Revelation 18 and 5. Get it quick. It's Revelation 18 and 5. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God had remembered her iniquities. So they're gonna do all that crazy stuff, what they're doing, and then come to a point in the most they're just gonna cut them down. All right, so 18 and 5, yeah. So next reading is Deuteronomy 29 and 30. All right. That ends Wisdom of Solomon chapter 18. And next reading is Deuteronomy 29 and 30. So stay tuned for the closing prayers. Barakta Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Nethananawa, Parya, Hagapan, Tuwada, Aman, La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, At Yasharala. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that give to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it, to Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, with Israel. Madwa, Panya, Jerusalem. Stand and face Jerusalem. Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Babakashai, Shammai, Lanawa, Aitha, Yamyan, Aitha, Shalak, Ma'aka'ala, Wa'ala'ayim, Tazwadakim, La, Shmu'ayil, Barak, Rapah, Magan, Wakazayak, Banya, Yash'ala, Washalak, Nanawa, Rabiam, Kakama, Rabiam, Da'ait, Rabiam, Bayana, Rabiam, Sabalamwa, Rabiam, Amawan, Rabiam, Aqua, Rabiam, Ahabiam, Rabiam, Agana, Rakanaya, Wasalak, Kal, Katayimnawa, Larakiam, Wayashala, Damyad, Waiwalam, Basham, Yahushua, Tawada, Aman. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please listen to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous power angel to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the children of Israel, and send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much spiritual protection, and forgive all our sins for the brothers in Israel, always and forever, in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. Four Corners Prayer. Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushua, Barak Nawa, Weasha'ala, Robata Sapori. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the house of books. Shama, Yasharala, Yahweh, Alahainawa, Yahweh, Akkad. Shalom, Israel. Enjoy the rest of the Sabbath.